Alrighty, so GDC, the Global Dokkan campaign. Part 1 has been well underway. It is sort of on the tail end here. Seems like we have everything that they intended to release during Part 1. Just sort of looking at the events, right? We have the new Zamasu event, Training in the Clouds, the Zamasu Easy A, right? The Special Battle, Super Easy A's, Divine Wrath, Immortal Will, Battlefield, Seriously Serious stuff, Extreme Z areas, right? All of that fun stuff has been, has come and went. It came and gone at this point, right? So, one thing that we need to start talking about in terms of GDC is when is Part 2? Now, what makes this interesting is on the social media front. I'll pull up the Dokkan Twitter while we're here. There has not been much. Typically with like the way that this stuff works is we'll start getting like promotional tweets for a live stream or a broadcast video that they're going to do. And that really has not been as much of the case in the last, a couple of days. So we are to the point where it is any day now, right? Like we are going to get a tweet from JP Dokkan, Global Dokkan, announcing when that is going to be. So I'm just pulling up the Dokkan Twitter. I hope you guys are enjoying this wallpaper that we have to look at. But if we go over to the browser side of things and we go, we've got a lot of fun stuff, right? But not much new, right? In the last 24 hours, we've got the event for the new stuff. The large scale campaign underway, right? This is all just like the highlights of the celebration. Now, I guess we could just kind of talk about this, right? Here are 3 highlights. I didn't really look at this. The clone team, I guess is what they're talking about here. This is definitely one of the highlights of the celebration. I'll give them that. The memorial stones, yeah, sure, that's really exciting. And all of the stones that you can get just for logging in. So pretty cool stuff with that. And then this event down here also gives you dragon stones. But that being said, you guys can see there's nothing in here that is hinting towards Part 2, nothing talking about Part 2, the theme. It's all just stuff focused on Part 1 of GDC. So that leads us with the question of when will Part 2 be? And there are some sort of context clues, some hints, that not even hints, but just like stuff that we can use in the game to indicate when Part 2 will be. So if you guys don't know, typically the way that this stuff works is if we go over to the summon tab, the day counter, or this little counter up here, is a good idea of when Part 2 will be, because this is when the sort of discounts, the buy 3 get 1 is going to go away for these banners. So when the buy 3 get 1 goes away for these banners, that is a heavy indicator of when the next banners will be dropping, right around that time. So it's like we could see the banners going away briefly, and then, or not going away, but the banner, the discounts, the buy 3 get 1 going away for a little bit, and then the next banners will be dropping, right? Like I would say maybe a day, maybe a few hours, and then we will be moving into the next sort of setup for Part 2. Now, there's also another thing down here. This is what we talked about this on the podcast recently over on the Slot 1 Super podcast. What they'll do is on this little banner, they'll give you like a date of like where things are running. And I'm not sure if it's in here right now. We were talking about it over there, and there was a date in here somewhere. I know Toon mentioned this for like what's next. I'm not seeing it though. Would it be? No. So yeah, usually like there would be a date in here that would tell you when Part 2 potentially could be, or like when the sales are running to. These are always like a way that to indicate when we could potentially see Part 2. It's in my opinion, it's tough to say exactly when it's going to be right now. Like, because this doesn't really help with the official schedule or anything like that. Summon points, these aren't really very helpful for what we're looking for in here. But what we do know, more than likely, what the theme is of Part 2, and again, the time frame for this would be within, like, would for sure be next week, right? Sometimes in here, this will give you like a little bit of an indicator of when like banners and sales go away. This is sometimes in here, sometimes it's not. This has always kind of been like a way that we've done it on Twitter, where it will tell you like where or when Part 2 is, or like when the banners go away, when the sales go away. That is usually how you can sort of get a gauge for it. But right now, part 2, I would have to guess would be the 22nd or the 23rd, at least right now. And again, we've sort of talked about this in the past, but the banners should be very good for part 2. I would argue probably better than what part 1 is, because if we look at this banner right here, this is going to be an LR Omega Shenron. This is going to be whatever the banner unit is. This is going to be Tech Vegito. This is going to be Int Broly. This is going to be AGL Broly. This is going to be Tech Zamasu. This is going to be the Physical Force. This is probably going to be in Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then the Super Easy A's, whichever TURs they decide to go with, whether it be Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta or Physical Omega Shenron. Could be either or. Right, or it could be, you know, STR Super Saiyan 4, AGL Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta and Goku. It's just funny how that works. But then when we look at these part 2 banners here, for the Carnival, it's going to be some form of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This is going to be Physical Gohan. This is going to be Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This is going to be the Family Kamehameha Gohan. This is going to be the Gammas. This is going to be Sword of Hope Trunks. This is going to be... this is where it's a bit of a wild card. Probably Super 17 who gets an easy A during that part, but that's TBD. So these banners are looking pretty damn good, in my opinion. Going to be very high value. We'll talk about whether or not you should be summoning, which one to summon on first, coming up. But again, we do have a little bit of time to go before that. So part 2, it's a bit up in the air. Typically, like I said, if we go like on the Twitter side of things, if we could just go back there, right? What like we could start seeing is teasers or a tweet like we'd have to scroll back a little bit. They tweet a lot during this like GDC and stuff like that, right? They actually don't tweet that much. This was 10 days ago. What they'll usually do, if we go, it will be something like this, right? It'll be like, you'll see like something like this without the teasers or the hints. We keep going. These are the kits, the animations. What we will see is, if I can find it, it'll be like a reveal teaser for the video. Yeah, they're showing all this. They're showing all this. It'll be something like this, right? Where it'll say like the special global Dokkan campaign. It'll give you that. It'll give you another like broadcast before they reveal the official characters and stuff like that. It would probably be a little bit more similar to something like this. So it would be like the Global Dokkan Campaign 2025 Part 2 announcement video, give you the broadcast time, and it would tell us where that would be. And again, I could easily see that being like tonight or tomorrow, because again, we are starting to run up to that point where it's like the days are starting to get numbered here, where it's like eventually they have to start talking about when Part 2 is. And it is a bit interesting that we have not seen anything yet, right? Because again, this is being broadcasted and advertised as an anniversary level celebration. I'm not here to tell you that it's not. It doesn't feel like one or anything like that. All I am saying is it is a bit bizarre that we have not seen anything yet. And I don't really think, you know, stuff like that is the end of the world. You know, because especially, I doubt this is the case, but when it is leaked like this, the suspense is way, way lower. Like we're not, I can't exactly say like I'm stoked for like the part 2. Like I'm excited to do the reaction and see like the animations and the art and stuff like that. But again, the suspense is taken away when you no longer have the luxury of like knowing who it's going to be, right? Because we don't have that now, or we do have that now. So it's like, we know it's G4 more than likely. We know it's Omega more than likely. Again, it would be a major, major plot twist if it's not Omega and G4. So just keep that in mind for like what we're going to be seeing. So things are starting to get a bit spicy. If we check the news tab over here, again, just checking everything, seeing what we can find for when part 2 is. There's just not a ton of stuff here to really tell us. Like maybe if you look at like the login bonus, sometimes you can get an idea of when things are. But what we're really looking for is that tweet. And it really feels like it should have been by now, right? Like we should have seen something. I guess like if you look at upcoming content, sometimes you could see things in here. Like the 16th is the date that they talk about, but obviously it's the 19th when I'm uploading this. So not really a ton to work with in terms of when part 2 is. But again, I think the biggest indicators are the countdowns on the banners, right? So what you guys usually need to know is, again, when the countdown is over, that is typically when part 2 starts. And that is going to be in the next 4 days or so. So expect within the beginning of next week, you know, in the, it's kind of tough to give like a ballpark, right? Like the Monday to Tuesday. So 4 days from now, it would be the 20th. It'll be like the end of the 23rd. I would expect the banners to be on the 23rd. So Probably going to get a tweet tonight regarding when the reveal video is going to be, and then the rest will kind of fall into place after that. So again, speculation on this video. Not really sure what part 2 is right now. We have to use our own sort of indicators. I'm just grabbing these panel missions here while I'm in this video, but you basically just need to know it's going to be next week, right? At the beginning, like right around the beginning of next week, the middle point of next week, right? Within the next upcoming days. So let me know what you're looking forward to for part 2. How many stones do you have saved up? All of that fun stuff. And if you did enjoy today's video and found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like before you go. Subscribe if you were new, and I'll see you all in the next one.